It's the Kingstons. Having the weirdest day ever. We are on the YouTube and we are on Facebook. Let us know if you can hear us okay. I'm going to check Facebook. Don's going to check YouTube. Hi. Sharon, Debbie. Hi, everybody. Okay, can you guys hear us okay? Erica, hello. Hi. Can you guys hear us? I'm all bedecked out in my Valentine's Day to make a Christmas card mini album. Chelsea, hi, guys. Okay. Fingers crossed everyone can hear us. So, funny, there was a region-wide internet outage here until about 10 minutes ago. So this has been very nerve-wracking for the Kingstons. And I'm on Facebook Live on HSN with Suzanne later, so we were having all kinds of moments. Florence is here. Carol, hi. Erica says, we're good to go. Hi, Patty. Hi, Linda. Oh, good. Okay. First of all, also, breaking news. As you know, I like to have things to give away. So I reached out to We Are Memory Keepers, and I'm giving away 2 mini cinches tonight. One on YouTube, one on Facebook. So I'm incredibly excited about that. We Are Memory Keepers is amazing. So we'll give everybody a chance to get in, to gather, to get their stuff together. If this is your first time watching us, hi, we're very happy to have you. If you are a long time hanger outer with me, we are so grateful. All you have to do to be entered to win is leave a comment. Is this your first time tuning in? Where are you from? Do you have a cinch? Have you made a Christmas card mini album before? Whatever you want to talk about. What's the weather like? Do you like my sweatshirt? Whatever you want to say. We will give away We'll do the giveaway on YouTube tonight because it doesn't save the live comments for some reason. But if you're tuning in after the live, you can comment on this on the Facebook live until today is Tuesday, until Thursday morning. So I'll announce the winner over there Thursday morning. All you gotta do is say, hey, what you doing? Happy to see you. Okay. Here are the things. Hi, everybody. Lori, thank you. I do love my sweater. Anne is here. Janine. Phyllis, hi everybody, Wilma. Okay, so here's what we need. You need either, and I'll have Don zoom in just a minute, but we'll let everybody get settled. You need either your cinch mini, or your crocodile, if you have a crocodile. And then the coordinating, like you need a binding for the cinch or for the mini cinch. If you're using just the crocodile, some binder rings will work just fine. This is not a project, and you'll see when I show you mine. This is not a project. Oh, it's okay, babe. We're good. Our furnace just kicked on. We're not going for perfection here, and I'll talk about that as we go. We just want to get this done. This should take you no longer than, say, 15 or 20 minutes. It's a great way. I mean, I know we're doing it at the end of January, but it's a great way to sort of end the season. I will show you my finished albums when we get closer to the end. It brings us so much joy to set these out every year. And when people come over, I can't tell you, especially people like that maybe come out of town or our neighbors we've known a couple years, they love to come and look through and see their own family's cards from years before. So this is a really great project. It takes almost no time. Lots of people have said, this would be great for wedding cards. This would be great for birthdays, baby showers. This could actually be like, this is your gift. Somebody has a baby shower, you make them a mini album after. Somebody has a wedding, that's the gift you give them. You make them an album. So just wanted to give you all kinds of ideas. Okay.
We have an interesting question.
Don Kingston has a good
Cindy
question.
wants to know, she says she has a Zutter. Will that still work?
Cindy, oh, a Zutter. I feel like a Zutter would work. I feel like anything that's gonna punch holes in things is gonna work for you. Yes, a Zutter. I think there also might have been another one out on the market long ago. Yeah, anything you have that's going to punch holes, it's going to work. I use a cinch because I've had mine forever and I'm obsessed with it. But like I said, the crocodile would work too. It'd just be like a little extra step. So you want your tool of some kind. You want your Christmas cards, obviously from last year, or whatever this year. You want some ribbon, and you want a pair of scissors. And and you want some, excuse me, number stickers, or you're gonna cut them later with your Cricut. The other thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna sort of troubleshoot, because sometimes you get Christmas cards and you're like, how is this going to fit in an album? So I'm going to do some troubleshooting while we go through our piles. Okay, before we get started, does anybody have any questions? Don Kingston's going to be checking as we go for questions, but he also is real fancy and we have a second camera. So we're going to be zooming in and showing everybody. Okay, are you ready for the second camera, babe?
Yeah, it's centered on the big cinch.
Oh, okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to move this over. We got a lot happening. Okay, we're going to move this over. I want everyone to grab your pile of Christmas cards. Oh, here we go. Oh, look, Don Kingston, you're so fancy. Okay, everybody grab your pile of Christmas cards. I've got mine sorted here, there, and everywhere. Let me also say, I have heard this 1,000 times. The Kingstons get some extraordinary amount of cards, apparently, more than most people. I have my theories as to why. We will talk about that as we go. Okay, but all you need to do, take your pile of cards and you're going to start, and this is not the pile, we're just piling them. There's no rhyme or reason to it. There's no order we're putting it in, except everything is gonna butt to the left. So if you have a card that opens, you want the folded side to be on the left. For photo cards, it's this way. I'm so used to only having one camera. For photo cards, it's totally up to you. Do you want them to face so they're all upright? You know, like this one is long and this one is tall. Do you want them all to sort of face the same direction? I usually do mine so that they're all sort of vertical. So I would lay this like this. Again, here's one that opens, just like, and we're just making piles. They don't have to be exact. If it tips over a little bit, that's fine. You just lay them across. Now, as you guys start doing that, see this one folds, so I'm gonna lay it on top. Here's a couple things I want you to look out for. Let me find my pile of, so problem number one, the post office tore this. Because there's enough here, I am still gonna put it in the pile because the cinch is actually gonna hold it here. So I'm not gonna worry about that. Let's talk about, newsletters. Guys, I could talk about newsletters. Family newsletters. I need to know how everyone feels about family newsletters. I love Christmas newsletters more than words can express. If you know me, even if you have to write it just for me, please send me a Christmas newsletter. So there are two ways people usually send them. Number one, if they send a photo card, it's just sort of folded inside. I just lay them one on top of the other, put them in a pile. If I get one, I know I have one in here. This one is a Christmas card, a foldable Christmas card. What I do, and you need to completely unfold the newsletter. I fold it, or unfold it, put it inside the Christmas card, and then lay that on the pile. This one, Anna Griffin, cutest person ever. This is sort of an odd shape, but again, there's enough of a straight edge that I'm gonna be able to put that right in. You always want your cards to, like I mentioned, if they fold. And here's the thing, don't always assume that they're folding on this side. I had a couple in last year's that when you looked at them head on, especially handmade cards, I just assumed they were folded here. When I tried to open them, they were folded here. The reason why that's important is, say it's folded here and I put it this way, you're never gonna be able to open the card then. You always want to do it here so that you're still gonna be able to open the card and see what's inside. Okay, so then we have this one. Here, okay, here's my trickster. Here's my problem child. So, I have a friend, Mark Allen, greatest friend ever, known him for 1,000 years. The man sends these every year. They are amazing. They are almost impossible to get in a card. So, here is what I have done. His has to go, because of the way it folds this year, I'm gonna go backwards. You just want to find an edge that works. So this is the same if you have an odd shaped card, if you have just something that doesn't lay perfectly flat. So I'm taking this. This also is a good trick. Once we start punching holes, I'll show you another trick if you screw up. So I've just taken a piece of Christmas craft paper. I've cut it. Yeah, Don, will you come zoom on in down here? Don's gonna come on in, do the switchy because he's so fancy. Okay, so I have this piece of paper. It's 2 inches by 6. 2 inches by 6. I'm gonna run it through my Xyron machine. This is a disposable. You can cut it a little bit smaller if you've got the 1.5 inch. You can cut it a little bit bigger. What this is doing, for those of you who might not have seen one of these before, and while I'm doing this, you guys keep making your piles. I hope it's very exciting making your piles. Okay. So I'm gonna take this, peel it off. It's sticky on both sides. I pre-folded it so it had a score line. Now I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna make a flap. Oh, Don's so fancy. Nope. Here, move that way. I'm gonna fold this over. So now I've got a flap to punch. So see, once I punch this, even though it'll be backwards, we can still open it because the holes are gonna be here. So that's important if you have something that sort of folds funny or isn't exactly straight across. So that's a great technique. I'm just gonna pile, we'll keep piling for a little bit. I'm not gonna do my whole pile because I've got a second one laid out. I mean, look at how cute this is. Oh my gosh, okay. Babe, I think we can keep it this way so here's another perfect example. This is a really cute card our friends sent. It's flat enough that we should still be able to get some good holes. If not, I'll show you what we're gonna do with it later on. Okay. We'll get this blah, 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 load, load, load. Remember, card folded to one side. Okay, now, let me show you the cinch and the mini cinch are not that much different. The biggest difference is, Don's gonna switch. He's so excited about this fancy camera. The biggest difference is the cinch has these big knobs you have to pull out, which we are not doing for this. So using the cinch for this is a little bit different. If you've made a bunch of mini albums with the cinch, we're doing some things a little bit different. So get that out of your brain. We're doing it crazy. We're doing it the crazy way. If you notice, the mini cinch does not have pull-out tabs, but it still punches the same kinds of holes. And I actually did some practice runs on this one and then the holes fit right in there. So whichever one you're going to do, you want to take your wire. So the big cinch comes with a big wire. Look at this cute little mini cinch wire. They come in 12-inch increments. You want to cut it to 6 inches, whichever one you're using. Set this aside. And where's my 6 inch? Right there. If you buy the cinch at retail packaging, it comes with the wire cutter. So you just get inside there, clip the wire. Oh, there we go. Now, we'll fix this at the end. Here's the cool thing. If you don't know what these are for on your cinch, that rested there so you can put your album together. This mini cinch also has the same thing. This is the greatest thing ever because then you're not trying to hold this and load things into it. So that is what that's for. Again, if you're doing the mini cinch, pretty much the same thing. Cut it to 6 inches and go ahead and lay it there in your, where the ridges are. The biggest difference between using the mini cinch and using the cinch is how many cards you're going to be able to fit. You could easily do probably 20, 25 cards using this. When I show you my mostly finished project, it'll be crazy how many of these, how many I could fit in here. But it's just the number of cards you can fit in your mini album. That's the biggest difference between the size, because you see the size difference, that's gonna be your biggest difference. The other tip is when you buy cinch wiring, there's a number up here. So this is a 1 inch. Don's gonna zoom in. There you go. It's super important to keep this packaging. A lot of times, like once you open something, you take out packaging. You need to keep the packaging because this is going to, and put what you're not using back inside. So like, I'll put this one back inside because when we get ready to, or maybe I won't, there we go. When we get ready to load our, to bind our album, the back of the cinch has actual numbers on it. Babe, can you get down there?
That might actually work.
Don loves his little flippy. No. It's not gonna work. Let's just stay overhead, how about? Right there. So you need to know exactly what measurement this is. You can't guess. So that's what these numbers are for up here. So it's really important to keep the packaging. Okay. So once we've done that, yeah, I think it's just easier to stay overhead. Even though your 2-foot cameras was amazing back. So next thing we're gonna do, take your cinch, and again, with the mini, it doesn't matter because there's nothing to pull out, but the centering I'm gonna talk about in a second is the same thing. Okay, you're gonna take, if you have the big cinch, you're gonna pull this all the way out because we're not measuring distances. All we're doing is centering our cards in the middle of our cinch. So what you're gonna do, everybody check, I have plastic binders for album making. How do I cut them? Sharon, you should still be able to use them with wire cutters or maybe like a pair of kitchen shears. That's a great question. So what you're gonna do is just take your cards 3 and 4 and 5 at a time, and you're gonna center them on each other. So I've got that centered on here, and by centered I mean relatively speaking. We're not super worried about this. The other trick is better too few than too many, because if you get these wedged in here, they can be kind of a pain in the patootie to get out. And the way you can tell if there's too many is if you have a hard time pushing them all the way to the back. So you press them in until you can't feel them go anymore. And again, they're just sort of centered on these. We are not measuring, we are not being exact. Push down, pull up. See how I've got all those holes punched? Then I take that set, lay it there, on to the next one. So you're just gonna do this over and over and over again with your piles. 2, 3, 4, 5 cards if they're thin, relatively centered. Lay them in, make sure they're pushed all the way to the back, push down, and add. So the other trick is, if you send a Christmas card this year, keep that separate because this one's gonna go on the top. So we don't wanna put that in our pile. Here's that one that I made the flap for. Push that in, press down. And see, now this will lay perfectly in here, but look, I can still open it all the way. That's the cool thing about using these little flappies. Another thing to keep in mind, and I'm just gonna do this for a little while you guys are working on yours. Let me know how's it going so far. Let me know if you got any questions. And if you guys are just joining us, if you tuned in a little later, I'm giving away a mini cinch, both on Facebook and YouTube, and all you gotta do is leave a comment, say, hey girl, hey. Oops, now see here, I screwed up. Okay, so what I did, I was not paying attention, I was too excited. I lost the card that this one went with, so that's the beauty of this. None of this is laid down yet. So it goes with this one right here. So I can just punch a hole. So that's the thing, if you accidentally put one in the wrong order, you just put it where it goes and move on to the next one. So we're punching. Okay, so if you've just joined us, and again, here's another good example. Because Anna's has this little lip to it, I'm gonna punch it by itself. It may actually come out a little crooked. But you know what? Again, no one should be looking that close. Don't let anybody tell you, oh, don't let your perfectionism stop you, because we're just here to make some cute mini albums. Okay, I'm gonna do this for a little while longer. Has anyone come across a card yet that they can't figure out how to add? Babe, has anyone? Okay, good. Oh, you guys are so good. Oh, you have some great questions. Darlene said she'd like to make a recipe book with all their favorite recipes. Oh, I love that idea. Yeah, if you are new to a cinch, I got messages from a couple of people that said they just bought one and this was going to be their first project. Once you get started with it, there will be so many great projects you come up with. And like we were talking about earlier, my girlfriend Kristen is having a baby shower in a couple weeks. I am going to offer to take all of the cards she gets at her shower and make a little mini album. I mean, they will treasure it forever. Can you imagine if like Don and I tried to keep track of our Christmas cards. I think I ended up cutting up some of them and making them into a collage. I am kicking myself now that I didn't make one of these because I could have just tucked it away. It would be.
Antonio had a great idea. She said
Antonio has a great idea, Don says.
they did this with their wedding card.
Yes. Oh, I'm so jealous. Yes. I think, isn't it the most amazing thing? You will treasure that forever. And that's something that, like, I know my mom talks a lot about, you know, what are the kids going to want? What are my grandkids going to want to keep? I would treasure, if my parents had a mini album of their wedding cards, I would treasure it. I would also treasure my own. So, okay. So you just keep on. If this starts to get full, which mine obviously gets real full, you'll see mine in a second. The easiest way you just keep it on the hooks and just sort of push everything down. It props the hooks up a little higher, but it lets you still fill it with a ton more stuff. And then what you do is, and I'm not going to close mine up, I'm actually using my, I'm going to pretend I saved last year's so that I could do this video, but that's a lie. Okay, so you just take when you've got everything you need, all the other cards in there, you take your finished card, again, mine might be a little wacky because I have a little hanging over thing. Insert it, punch a hole. And if you did not do Christmas cards this year, do not worry, let me show you real quick. Let me add this in. So put that on there. That's going to be your top. So we'll pretend this is a finished album, but instead I'll do my 2020 album. Okay, before I move on though, I'm going to grab, there was a year that we did not do a Christmas card, and this is what I did instead. Hold, please. Because, I mean, I feel like especially over the last year or two, we just haven't been in the mood, right? So I took just a piece of plastic. You could take a piece of pattern paper. You could take a piece of chipboard. I just cut it in a cool shape and made that my cover. And we're going to talk about the ribbon and the alphabet, the numbers in a minute. But if you did not send Christmas cards this year, do not worry. You can still make just a cute, easy cover. This is thicker than transparency. What is the word I'm looking for? It'll come to me, not vellum. Acetate. Thank you, Don Kingston. So this is acetate. It's nice and sturdy. It's not going to tear. So that's a great way to make a cover if you don't have one. Do not worry too much about that. See how this sticks out? Like, you're just going to have some odd shaped cards. Don't worry about that. We're having something cute and fun. Okay. How's everybody coming with theirs? I'm so excited. I hope you guys will.
Someone asked about like a longer card. I think you just do one of those.
Longer card. So let me. Longer cards. So like this one. As long as, see, I did it so the fold is on the left, and that way it's still gonna open. But if you wanted to do it. Well, I wouldn't do it going horizontally because it's not going to open. The most important part is having the fold to the left. So that's why your cards are going to end up, I'll show you some of my other albums. Your cards are going to end up not a uniform shape because some cards are folded at the top, some are folded at the side. Some, like Mark Allen, do this whole collage-y amazing thing. Some are square, some are rectangle. But the most important thing is that the fold is to the left, because see how I can still open that card. Okay. You can set aside that. We're gonna move on to, I'm almost ashamed. So this is how big ours is from 2020. We are fortunate to get a lot of cards. This is the next step. And then we're gonna talk about these. So again, this is the same with the mini cinch. See, it's got the little cincher in the back. The only difference is there's not a knob where you have to guess do the size, because the mini cinch binding rolls all come in the same size. If you're using regular cinch, see this little knob? It says push and turn. It moves that little teardrop looking thing. I want it to be at the 1 inch mark. Here's the other thing. You can also get this kind of binding. This is great if you don't have a ton of cards. If you have a lot of cards like we do, there is no way, I don't know if you can see that, babe. There is no way I could get that many cards on here. So I'm going to be stretching the limits of this. This is if you have a smaller amount of cards, it's actually super easy to use. But because of the packaging, I know that this is a 1 inch binding wire. So I'm just gonna set it inside. You see it's open towards the back. This is open towards the back. I'm gonna set it in there, and then I'm gonna squeeze. And I actually did extend it. Mine is actually, I have too many cards, so I should have used a bigger binding, but I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do about that. So, you squeeze it shut, squeeze it, there we go. Okay, so once you've done that, you set it aside, and you're going to take all of these that are folded open, you're gonna flip them to where they go, and you fold it into thirds so that it's gonna lay flat. I actually think, guys, I might have too many cards in my binder because I'm too fancy. So you're just gonna fold here and fold, there we go, fold here and fold here. So see, it's not perfectly in thirds, but it's gonna lay inside and allow you to fold this closed. So in thirds, in thirds. I love family newsletters so much, oh my gosh. Okay, so here again, if you'll notice, when someone sends it to you, it's automatically gonna fold in thirds, but look, if I follow the thirds that it's folded in, it's gonna overlap, so I do a little, I just zhuzh it a little bit. So I'm folding. Okay, how's everybody coming with theirs? Are you ready for me to move to the next? And this is, I mean, we're just putting the finishing touches on it at this point. Actually, I think I'll squeeze the other one because I think I might, for the first time in history, babe, I think we might have too many cards. So I think the reason, do not think we are some magical whatever, or have like some crazy amount of friends. I think when you are military, you tend to get more Christmas cards than others because, so if you're new to tuning in, we moved 13 times during our marriage. So at every one of those duty stations, even if we made 5 friends, that's how many? 80, 65, the Kingstons are doing math. 13 times 5, how many is that? 65. Even if we only met 5 friends at each duty station, that's 65 friends. Even if only half of those sent us cards, that's 30 some cards. I think military folks, and you know, all the people I grew up with and all my friends from high school and all our relatives. So I think that's why. If anyone else has another theory, I'd love to hear it. My sister-in-law, God love her, who I know is not watching this, was here over Christmas, and she was complaining about how she doesn't get Christmas cards, very many Christmas cards, and I said, well, how many do you send? And she said, none. So I think that might be the answer to that question. But I just think we get a lot of Christmas cards because we have friends like all over the world. Okay.
What is the largest size binding I can use with the minis?
With the mini cinch, it comes, I believe, only in the one size. Half inch. Looks like maybe half inch. That's a good question. I will research and get back to you. Because there's not a, so I'm going to show you this right here. So there are some measurements right here that talk about sizing. But there is not a, there's not a knob on here. So, and I just got this, which is why I lack some. So that's a great question. I will ask We Are Memory Keepers. But this is, I mean, I just absolutely love it. Okay. So I'm going to set this one aside. Let me go back and cinch this one real quick to show it again, like from the side. Okay, so here you are. Got it, babe? Ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so I squeeze. Oh, you know what? I'm wondering if I think I might have broke my cinch, babe. Looks like the Kingstons might have broke. There we go. Oh, no. I think the Kingstons might have busted their cinch. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, well, we'll get it fixed. Okay. So I'm going to squeeze all these shut. So here's the next step. Now you're just going to decorate at will. Oh, one more trick before we get started. If you find, here, I'm going to do one with this. if you are punching and for some reason you don't get it all the way in, let me see if I can make a mistake. Oh, let me get it in there. No. I'm trying to get it so I don't get the, okay. So you see how it didn't punch all the way through? Here's the greatest tip ever. Greatest tip ever. My friend Jamie, if you guys saw the original of when we did this, my friend Jamie came up with this. You take a piece of pretty washi tape and you lay it over the front, lay it flat, and you flip it around. And you lay it over the back. So you cover the holes that didn't make it. So we've got the front, we've got the back. Insert it again. It punches the holes for you and it's sturdy enough that it's gonna hold. So if you don't get the punch right the first time, do not panic. Washi tape is going to be your best friend. That's the most amazing thing. Okay. Last but not least, this is totally, I mean, none of this is mandatory. Let's be real. None of.
Chastity's here. She wants to know what the question was.
Chastity, how big of wires can you use on the mini cinch? Chastity's the greatest. It's thanks to Chastity we have mini cinches to give away. Thank you, Chastity. You're the greatest. Okay. Oh, here's my. I fixed my. Fix my cinch. Okay. So the last thing we need to do. And again, this is just for funsies if you want to. If you're happy with it as is, great, like with the metal wiring. You just want to add the year. But I like to make it superdy-duperdy festive, so we add ribbon. And these are just scraps of ribbon. I'm going to show you a couple other finished. And I sort of...
It says 5/8.
5/8. Chastity says 5/8. I sort of changed the ribbon depending on maybe the theme. Like one year we did this picture and it was sort of browns and tans, so I changed it up. It's whatever you've got at home. If you want to do all white ribbon, if you want to do gold, if you want to do red and green, if you don't want to do any, totally fine. But the cool thing about this binding is it's got these bigger hooks on the back, and so you can actually rotate your album forward and just take some scraps of ribbon. I cut mine a little long because I'm not a very good tire and I have and I have big hands. So you just cut a piece of ribbon and you string it through and you tie it in a knot, and then you can trim the ends as little or as much as you want. And you can do 2 colors per hoop if you want. You can do 3. So like there I did, and I'm just doing this real quickly. So I did a pink one, but then look, I could also, and you can do thin ribbon, you can do thick ribbon, you can do whatever tickles your fancy. So I cut off about probably 5 inches, depending on how comfortable you feel sticking your hands in, how comfortable you feel about tying. So see, I can take another piece of ribbon and tie it. So both of these pieces are on the same hook. So you can, the same little loop on the back. So you can add as much zhuzh and ribbon as you want to. The nice thing too is it helps hold them together. But the other nice thing is, if you are like me and are a bargain shopper, like if I didn't pull this back and show you, this is a blue wire because I didn't have any silver. Unless I was like, hey guys, look at this, you wouldn't be able to see it. So if you are, you know, if you want to make a Christmas album and all you could find was yellow binding, it doesn't matter because you're going to cover it up with all this fun ribbon. And it just makes it so much more festive. And then all you do is add a little number to the bottom and you're good to go. And that's it. It's that easy, guys. I'm so excited. I'm so happy you guys are doing this. Okay, here's the thing. Babe, will you zoom up? Or not zoom up. Come on up. Let's see our faces. Okay, 70,000 things I want to tell you. First of all, thank you for tuning in. Second of all, I would love to see your finished projects if you're willing to share them. tag me on Instagram, on Facebook, send it to the Kingston, whatever you want to do, because this is probably one of my favorite all-time projects, and it doesn't take very long, and it is something, I'm going to show you how we store ours. So we've done it in different baskets and tubs throughout the year. This year we had it sitting in this wire basket right as you come in the door of our house, and we have them dated from oldest in the back to newest in the front, and I think I probably got these out of order. And the coolest thing, like just leafing through it ourselves, this is right after we decided we were buying this house. Then we've got this, so I don't know if you guys know this, but the Kingstons also own a men's stationery company, and the year we launched the company, we did it's called the Paper Hatchet, and the year we launched the company, we did a Paper Hatchet Christmas card as our Christmas card. So it just helps it helps remind us of where we've been. This is like one of our favorite pictures. This is when we lived in Kansas. But it just brings back so many memories just leafing through it. We've got pictures of our nieces and nephews when they were born. We've seen our friends' families grow from, newlyweds to 1 kids to 2 kids to 6 kids to, having a dog to moving to Hawaii to, it's just so, we've got a friend's family who have passed away, and it's a treasure to have their cards from years back. There's so many reasons to do this. And it brings joy to other people. So that's the thing that I think is so cool, is when you have people into your home around the holidays, people love to, even if they don't know people, they love to look through and see like, how have the styles changed? Back when we started this in 2012, no one was doing photo cards. Like very few people were doing photo cards. Now it's 2022. Lots of people, almost everybody's doing photo cards. Especially if you have people that make handmade cards. It's just it's so cool to keep track of all this year after year after year. Okay, if you are on YouTube, you have like 30 more seconds. All you gotta do to be entered to win a mini cinch, leave a comment. We will pick the name. If you are on Facebook and you didn't get a chance to catch us live, you have until Thursday morning to leave a comment, and then I'll pick a winner then. Chastity from We Are Memory Keepers is the greatest human ever. It is thanks to her that we have these to give away tonight. And I'm not kidding when I say once you get your hands on one of these, you will turn everything into a mini album. It's like the coolest thing ever. Okay.
A lot of people saying wish they'd save their old cards.
I know. It's never too late to start, right? So yes, we don't have our old cards. I was saying, if you guys tuned in earlier, it kills me that I didn't do this with our wedding cards. But moving forward, we can, right? If you have a niece or nephew getting married, or somebody's having a baby, or this is your 40th Christmas together, or this is your first Christmas together, this is a tradition you can start. We've been married since 2002. We didn't start this till 2012. It is what it is, and it brings us joy however many years we have. So I hope you guys this is such a great tradition, and once you have the tools, it takes 20 minutes. It's like the greatest thing ever. Okay, Don Kingston has picked a name. On YouTube, Kelly Keenan, you are the winner of the mini cinch. Send me an email, beth@thekingstonhome.com, with your mailing address, and we will get it out into mail to you. Kelly Keenan on YouTube. If you are on Facebook, you have until Thursday night. Thanks, babe. Let's see. We went over washi tape. We went over weird shaped cards. We went over squeezing the cinchy. I figured out what was, there was a piece of paper blocking it. That's why I couldn't get it to squeeze. Or a piece of fuzz. I think that's it. Does anybody have any questions? You guys are so good. I'm so happy. Yeah, I hope everybody keeps, oh wait, somebody does have one question. Oh, large size binding, yep. Okay, I can't wait to see what you guys make with this. Oh, recipe books, everybody's coming up with some great ideas. You could make a love book with Valentine's cards. I know, it's so good. Oh, and because I saw a couple people say they don't have the cinch. Let me show you just really quickly. Let me set this aside. If you don't have a cinch, you could 100% do this with a crocodile. Here's how. Take your first card. That's going to be your base. I would do 3 holes, maybe. So start with and I'm actually gonna, so without getting into too long of a lesson about the crocodile, you can move this back and forth so that it is, there we go. You can move this so the difference between the end of your page and where it punches a hole is different. So I'm gonna move this up a little bit, tighten it back up. So I would take 3 holes. 1, 2, and again, we're not measuring. 1, 2, 3. Use this as your base. Add your next card. Sort of line them up together. And once you get a couple holes going, you can do like multiple cards at a time. And you just do this with all, I don't know if you guys can see that. You just do this with all your cards. Sorry, babe?
Put one of the rings in.
Oh, okay. You do this with all your cards, and then I have 2 rings here, but I punched 3 holes. You just use these rings, close them shut. If you don't have a crocodile, like get one today. They're the greatest thing ever. They punch through like 17 things. So this is a way you could do it really easily without a cinch. And one more thing I'll show everybody with the crocodile. Like I was just doing these one at a time to show you, but because of the strength of the crocodile, because it is similar to the cinch, we're gonna have to go through these later and be like, which ones are from which year? So we take, here's 3 Christmas cards. You take my base card. Tap out on my gunkies, there we go. So you can easily punch 3 cards at a time. So you're not having to do, if you've got the crocodile, not the cinch, it's almost like I was doing 3 and 4 cards with the cinch. You can do 3 and 4 cards with the crocodile. So don't let this stop you. If you don't have a cinch, you can do almost the exact same thing with a crocodile. It's just going to take a little bit longer because you have to punch the holes as you go. But this is still, again, I mean, look at how cute this is. I'd add a 3rd ring, add some ribbon on there, just as cute as it can possibly be. So do not let this stop you. You can do it no matter what. Okay. Back up real quick. You guys have been awesome. Thank you so much. I'm so excited. If you love Diamond Press, I will be on with Suzanne Gets Crafty on the HSN Facebook page at 9:30. So you can't get rid of me tonight. We will be finishing this up. I'm actually going to finish 2 albums before the night is over, so I'm very excited about that. Again, leave a comment. If you're watching on Facebook, you have until Thursday morning to leave a comment. Thank you guys so. Oh, if you don't have a cinch or a mini cinch or a crocodile, the links are up in the blurb. The cinch is amazing. The mini cinch is spectacular, but the crocodile for me is a must, like for all projects, all the time. Chastity, my friend, I love you. You're amazing. Thank you guys so much. This is so good. We're just going to do this every year. We're going to have this same Facebook Live every year. Don Kingston, any other words of wisdom? No? Okay. Thank you guys so much. Please take care of those of you that are in the cold part of the country like we are. We will see you, I'm sure, either later tonight or sometime next week, or we'll see you soon. Thank you guys so much. Tag me in so I can see your finished projects. Yay! Bye.